Kidhatani, Nguluni, Kanzokea Forest in Kangundo Central Ward by the Honorable Freddy Kitetu. B, report of the Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on inquiry on the state of revenue collection within the county by the Honorable Francis Kitaka. Wednesday morning, 13th March 2024 at 10 a.m. A, response to a statement on safety of employees at Golden Africa Kenya Limited by the Honorable Joshua Mwanga. B, report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the County Fiscal Strategy 2024 by the Honorable Dominic Ndambuki. Wednesday afternoon, 13th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. A, response to a statement on operationalization of Kangundo Bus Terminus by the Honorable Brian Kisila. And B, motion on establishment of youth centers and sports incubation centers by the Honorable Anastasia Mutevu. Tuesday morning, 19th March 2024 at 10 a.m. A, report of the Health and Emergency Services Committee on the status of MACHAKOS Level 5 Hospital by the Honorable Vincent Mutie. Tuesday afternoon, 19th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. A, report of Auditor General on receiver of revenue financial statements for the financial year 2021-2022 by the Honorable Philip Ndolo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader. We have the next statement by Honorable Frederick Kitetu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm more brief for Chairman, our Chairman, Honorable Frederick Kitetu. My name is Catherine Che, nominated by WIPA. Response on the strategies put in place to ensure conservation and rational utilization of forest resources in Kathiani, Ngulini, and Kanzokea Forest in Kangundo Central Ward. Honorable Speaker, a statement was sought by Honorable Dixon Maundu on strategies put in place to ensure conservation and rational utilization of forest resources in Kadhatani, Ngulini, and Kanzokea Forest in Kangundo Central Ward. The sought statement was consequently conveyed to the Department of Water, Irrigation, Sanitation, Environment, and Climate Change. Find a letter reference MKHCH/PHS/CMM/ELENRV/VHOL4/ and Department responded to the aforementioned statement through a letter dated 23rd November 2023 as follows. After the inauguration of the Constitution of Kenya, some forest functions were devolved to counties, which informed the development of forest transition implementation plans, tips for devolved forest functions. Among the forests devolved are the community trust lands, which include number 1, Kalimanzaru Hill Forest, 110 hectares, 2, Mangu Hill Forest, 45 hectares, 3, Kibahuni Hill Forest, 19.4 hectares, number 4, Ngilini Forest, 28.8 hectares, number 5, Matetani Muisoni, 42 hectares, number 6, Kadhatani Forest, 12 hectares. Kanzokea is not one of the county forests. These forests are adversely threatened by encroachment, grazing, and illegal logging, which has significantly reduced forest cover, subsequently causing severe degradation of the forest. All the county forests lack active community forest associations and forest guards that can be used to preserve them, hence the vulnerability to the above-mentioned threats. As a department, we have written to the County Public Service Board requesting employment/deployment of county forest officers, natural resources officers, and forest guard for deployment to the various county forests. Further, the department is in process on initiating the development of a county tree policy that will guide in implementation of the devolved functions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think the statement is sought by Honorable Maundo, and you have heard the responses. I don't know whether you are satisfied or not. Okay, Honorable Maundo, just a minute. Honorable Brian wants to comment something about that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am actually surprised that the list which has been given by Mheshimiwa on the gazetted forests, because we have several others which are not in that list, which touch on our wards. And Mr. Speaker, the worry now is if this information gets to the public that those forests are not in the list, or those who are gazetted, the encroachment will be very severe. In my ward, we have several forest areas which we know are forest areas, and they are not in the list of Mheshimiwa Chair. Is that list exhaustive, or the others which they left? And those are county forest lands, which have got county titles.
I don't know whether, Honorable Chair, you have something to say, though, and I also do not understand whether the committee dealt with all the county forests or it dealt with the forests that were requested by the Honorable Member, because it's like he zeroed in on Kangundo Central Ward. Yes, Honorable Ellen?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think since this was a response to a statement that was specific, let's just take it as it is, that Mheshimiwa Maundo wanted this specific information, and the committee concerned has given the same information. If there is another, maybe request for covering all the gazetted forests, then we can now talk about them at that point. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ellen. I think Honorable Wambua.
It's a hot afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the committee and the department for their response to Mheshimiwa Maundu's statement. However, we have a shortage of employees everywhere in this county. And I'm saying this while noting that our income compared to salary expenditure has already busted the required percentage of 35%. The department recommends that we employ forest guards. We also employ, what do they call these people who work for the Forest Service? Is it practical at this point? Because, as it were right now, I don't think we have space for employment. In as much as we want forests to be safeguarded, we also need to be realistic in our suggestions, because we may give suggestions that are very nice, but which we cannot implement. And what we are looking at is implementation of whatever we plan to implement, we implement it fully. We can, I would propose that in safeguarding our forests, we pursue other methods, like for instance, Kibaoni Hill is in your report. We could use the people who live around that forest to help the counties safeguard our forests, because the first culprits who misuse the forests are the people near that area. If we could have an arrangement where the county is in collaboration with the locals, then we can cheaply, without probably employing very many people, safeguard our forests. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Paul. I think now I can call upon Honorable Dixon Maundo, maybe to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Dixon Maundo, representing Kangundo Central Ward. Before I respond to the statement, I think I would first of all start by responding to Mheshimiwa kutoka Kibaoni concerning Kibaoni Hill Forest or something. I think the statement here was clear. It was sought to clarify on the forests from Kangundo Central Ward. And the suggestions put by Mheshimiwa from Kibaoni, I think they are valid, but not at this stage. That is my take, and thank you, Mheshimiwa. First and foremost, Honorable Speaker, and now that the chair of the environment has gone out, I don't know whether I am, whether I should continue with the response or we should wait for her, because there are other members. Thank you, well-informed Honorable Speaker. I think we all know the importance of forests in our areas, and conserving forests in our areas. It means a lot, both to the individual members who represent those areas and to the county government of Machakos in particular. And when sorting or seeking this statement, I think I was doing it for the betterment of the electorates from Kangundo and Machakos as a whole. Honorable Speaker, we had plenty of rains in the last season, and I think it would have been proper when this statement was sought last year. We would have capitalized with the same last year to at least do something within the forests. Honorable Speaker, we all know pronunciations, or for that matter, spellings, or misspelling of words, it means a different thing. And when the Honorable Chair spoke of Geleni forest, I think we do not have Geleni in Kangundo Central Ward. We have Ngoleni forest. So I think that is a misspelling, and I don't think that serves well and means well to the people of Kangundo. Again, Honorable Speaker, they have baptized Kanzokea forest and called it Matetani Muisoni. I have no problem with the baptism name. However, they should clarify whether it is Muisoni or Muisuni. Because if Kanzokea and Matetani Muisuni, that means the same thing. I have no problem with the baptism name that they have given to the forest. Honorable Speaker, this statement, or the statement read, or the response, I think it is an abuse to the people of Kangundo. It is not acceptable and does not meet the threshold of a committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dixon. I think I've heard that we still have other members for the same committee on environment. And so the same statement, Bwana Clerk, goes back to the said committee. And maybe we can give them a timeline to respond back to this house within a maximum of 30 days, right? Yeah, a maximum of 30 days to come up with a good response, as Honorable Mount is saying. Honorable Chair,
Point of
you want to say something? That the chair is back?
kindly, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think it is important, and I am not sure whether I am right, and I stand to be informed. Should the committee intend or wish to invite the person or the honorable member seeking statements, maybe for clarity or something, I am available, I am ready and willing to work with the committee to come up with a good response. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think that's the best option. I think it's prudent for committees to be consulting with members who have sought these statements, so that at least you may capture exactly the expected responses from members. That will make your work much easier. I think now we can proceed, Clerk.
Order number 8. Motion, approval of report of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on inquiry on the state of revenue collection within the county.
Under this one, we have the chairperson, Finance and Revenue Collection Committee, Honorable Francis Kitaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Francis Kitaka, representing Dalane Ward and the Chair Revenue Committee. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 195, I wish to move the motion that this Honorable House adopts the report of Finance and Revenue Committee on inquiry on the state of revenue collection within the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I hereby call Honorable, my Vice Chair, to second.
Second.
Thank you, Honorable Francis. Thank you, Honorable Paul. I now propose the question that this Honorable House adopts the report of Finance and Revenue Collection Committee on inquiry on the state of revenue collection within the county. And before I invite members for debate, let me call the mover to take the House through the highlights of the report.
Thank you once more, Honorable Speaker. I would wish to take go through the forward, if that is acceptable. Then after the forward, we can go to committee observations and recommendations. Honorable members, you realize that in the report there are some annexures that are attached, so that at least you can be able to.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important report. In fact, one of the biggest challenges we are having in this county is how we can strengthen revenue collection. And it's unfortunate that members are not in the assembly. That we don't have quorum to discuss such a good report, which can actually, and let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, internal revenue directly comes back to the county. You don't even have to request for any apportionment. It comes directly to internal revenue. It is sad that we don't have quorum in this house, and it is becoming a habit in this assembly. Mr. Speaker, I call upon you to call upon the House to come to have a quorum. Or number two, Mr. Speaker, in the morning we went through the same process. Unfortunately, even the whips are not here. Clearly showing that people took jobs which they cannot handle. Or they took jobs which they didn't know what they meant. The role of the whip is to ensure that house business is being transacted, and at any given time there is quorum. It is something we need to discuss as an assembly. And it is unfortunate also, the people who are making the loudest noise outside in the market about underperformance or other shortcomings and challenges facing our county are not even here. They have found it fit to go and make noise outside where they don't need to make noise. Mr. Speaker, I think you need to make a very strong ruling, and we need to ensure that this House gets back to its feet and we get serious with what we are doing. Otherwise, the third assembly will go to the records of Machakos County as the worst performing assembly, and I don't want to be party to that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Brian. I think your statements are very strong. And for the members who followed our assembly platform, I think they have heard. I think it has also become a norm that members will just come in, log in, and move out. Because I know we had quorum, but it's like members have just walked out. And so I call upon the clerk the sergeant at arms to ring the bell for 8 minutes so that we may attain the required quorum.
The members of the finance committee, where are they?
I think, Honorable Ellen, because now the sergeant at arms is about to ring the bell, will be out of order to address that. Honorable members, let's have order. I think the sergeant at arms should stop now ringing the bell. I believe we have the quorum. What are you saying, Honorable Brian?
Majority Leader is pointing a finger at me. I don't know why he's pointing a finger at me. But Mr. Speaker, on a lighter note, and the beauty about it, the majority whip has come. Minority whip is not here, but the deputy is also here. The deputy whip is here. Honorable members, let us take upon ourselves, please, I'm urging all of you that we attend assembly business. And attending assembly business is not just coming to somebody appears and takes off. Moving forward, let us agree that we become our own prefects. We don't have to be told by anybody, so that we can transact the business of this house the way it's supposed to be transacted. We will make a difference in our wards and in this county if we get commitment to work for this assembly, Mr. Speaker. And moving forward, let us not get into this thing of ringing bells. It will become a culture that there is no quorum, and people don't take assembly business. Even myself, sometimes I don't come. But now I'm committing myself that I must come here every time. And I will not stoop. I will not stop. If there is no quorum, be assured, if I'm in this house, I'll point out. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Brian. I believe I do support your sentiments and wisdom. Because honorable members, we are doing this because we asked for it. It is us who went to the public and requested that we be sent to these chambers to represent our people. And they may not have chance to question us or maybe censor us, but I can tell you there is also a God in heaven who is also watching. We need to be present. Let's do what, it doesn't matter you are on which side of the assembly. It is allowed. You can belong to the minority, you can belong to the majority, but as long as you are inside this house, you will be doing your people justice. So I think, Honorable Francis, you can proceed. I know I was still talking to the already converted, but let the same word get to the people or members who have been absconding, mostly for no apparent reason.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, as I had advised earlier, we shall be looking at the report on the inquiry of the state of revenue collection within the county. So we'll go through the forward. I would urge every member to look at the report. This report on inquiry on the state of revenue collection within the county was informed by the report on the financial statements of the county as at 31st December 2022, which reported low revenue collections, raising concerns whether the county will attain its revenue target for the year 2022-2023. The report indicated that the county had managed to collect 469 million, translating to a less than a third of the targeted revenue of 1.69 billion for the financial year 2022-2023. The committee further compared revenue collections of the previous 4 years as follows. 2018-2019, the collection was 1.5 billion. 2019-2020, the collection was 1.3 billion. 2020-2021, the collection was 1.2 billion, and the financial year 2021-2022, we collected 1.1 billion. And noted the revenue collection was on a downward trend. The committee resolved to undertake an inquiry to establish the causes of decline in revenue collection and, if possible, propose suitable measures to enhance revenue collection. The inquiry was undertaken between February 2023 and May 2023 through site visits and meeting with stakeholders. From its findings, the committee observed the following as some of the possible causes of revenue decline. A, collection of revenue in cash and depositing in M-Pesa pay bill later. B, collusion and pocketing of revenue by revenue officers. C, inadequate services provided at county facilities, mainly at slaughterhouses and at quarries where roads are in poor state. D, inadequate guidelines of operations such as operating hours for slaughterhouses, transportation of quarry materials beyond working time of revenue officers, and failure to pay officers overtime. E, inadequate monitoring and keeping of records, including lack of gadgets to verify payments of revenue via M-Pesa, and not keeping records of lorries from National Cement Company that pass through the pay points. F, laxity in revenue collection, whereby the county has not been collecting revenue from business people, including the said National Cement Company. The committee proposes to the County Executive Committee member, Finance, Economic Planning, Revenue Management, and ICT to, Roman 1, provide a report to the Assembly on how it addressed the reasons, areas that have led to decline of revenue collection. 2, fully automate revenue collection across the county and enhance and embrace cashless revenue collection to reduce cases of revenue leakage. 3, encourage citizens to pay revenue using the prescribed cashless channels and to report those officers collecting revenue in cash. 4, enhance revenue monitoring in quarries, sites, and other areas of revenue collection and deal with the issues of revenue and enforcement officers who have been colluding with traders to rob the county's revenue. 5, coordinate with the Department of Transport to repair roads leading to the quarry sites and dig trenches and alternative panya routes to leave only one exit point. 4, inform National Cement Company that the purported revenue waiver of April 2017 was irregular, as it was against the provisions of Article 185(1) and 2010(1) of the Constitution of Kenya, and that Machakos County Tax Waivers Administration Act 2021 was voided, and voided any waivers entered before passage of the Act. 7, collect cess from trucks ferrying cement raw materials from quarries within the county, including the National Cement Company Limited. 8, ensure that there are accurate county systems of recording and accounting for trucks that ferry raw materials from quarries for the companies that opt to pay cess at the end of the month, including National Cement Company and Bamburi Cement Company. The committee is grateful to the offices of the Speaker and that of the clerk, the county clerk, assembly, for the support accorded during the carrying out of this task. I wish to express my appreciation Honorable members, I wish to skip that because it's part of the forward. We'll be looking at it. So we go to the recommendations. We have responses from the concerned stakeholders that you can find in the report. So, because just a brief, if you allow me, Mr. Speaker, I would want to inform the House that we had a visit to Mutitoni Slaughterhouse. We also had a visit to Athi River Slaughterhouse. We had also a site visit at Lukenya and Mavoko Sub-County Revenue Office. And the responses from the executive, the CCM Finance, are also in the report. So members, allow me to take you through the observations of the committee. Based on the findings of the committee during these visits and responses from officers, the committee makes the following observations that led to decline and loss of revenue collection in the county. 1, collection of revenue in cash. Revenue officers are still collecting revenue in cash and later depositing in the M-Pesa pay bill. This can be collaborated by what the committee observed at Mutitoni Slaughterhouse and Lukenya Quarries pay point, where a committee member posted as an inspectorate officer and was given cash by the drivers. 2, collusion and pocketing of revenue. Revenue officers, inspectorate officers, the Department of Business people, the department and business people have been colluding to evade payment of revenue. This was noted, 1, at the quarries where a committee member, as I had indicated, posted as an inspectorate.
Another point of order? Okay, just let's hear from Honorable Brian.
Mr. Speaker, we seem to be forming a habit whereby we have a very comprehensive report in the assembly and we are jumping the meat of it and jumping to conclusions. Mr. Speaker, I have been following this report and I have a lot of interest in this report. There are very serious issues in this report. If we jump some parts, we will not get the real issues. For example, if I ask you, the committee went to this company called Lukenya, a company in Lukenya. There's a very detailed report on the findings. Mr. Speaker, this assembly is not just to get recommendations. We need to start digesting reports. And if we are just in a hurry to read the report and say that we have passed the report, that is not the way to do it. Mr. Speaker, I'm urging that the chairman reads the report so that also in the hazard it is being captured what the findings were. Otherwise, we'll be jumping some very serious issues which are not being captured and jumping into conclusions which we don't know the basis of the conclusions.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Brian. Let's allow the member to proceed, because we had requested for the highlights, and I think that is exactly what he's doing. But I believe we all have that report. Let's as we debate now, let's bring up those issues, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Kisila, I wish that you just slowly go through the report, and during the interrogation contribution we can highlight. Thank you. So I was giving out the committee observations, part B, where we observed also, the committee observed that where National Cement Company is issued with invoices that are understated by the Department of Finance, C, where revenue officers fail to keep records of trucks that the National Cement Company uses to transport quarry materials for ease of identification and the number of trips the trucks make in a given day. 4D, where the department fails to provide an accurate system that to quantify how much revenue the National Cement Company should pay to the county. Number 3, inadequate services provided at county facilities. The county has not provided good services before collecting revenue, thus leading to resistance in payment. This has been observed as follows. Business people, A, have come together to provide gunpowder, water, and undertake repairs of facilities at slaughterhouses. B, roads to quarries are in poor state, and the truck transporters also resist payment of cess as they question what service does the county offer offers to them. Number 4, inadequate guidelines of operations. Inadequate guidelines have been observed in the following. Slaughterhouses operate from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., leading to overworking of the officers, whereas there is very little activity between 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Honorable members, you will notice that the time span is quite big. Stakeholders proposed operation hours to be from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. But no one has taken up their proposal. B, quarry trucks undertake transportation beyond 6 p.m., where revenue officers have gone home and there is no guidelines of what should happen after 6 p.m.
Mheshimiwa Brian, kindly, you could have allowed the member to proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention to Honorable Douglas Musyoka, who has just entered the chambers, indecently dressed. There are dressing codes in this assembly, and you cannot just come and walk. People are taking this assembly as a walking out. Mr. Speaker, we need to be serious here. And I want to draw your attention to that dressing code of the member. And number 2, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the chambers as per now, we still don't have quorum. Even after you had ruled that we have the quorum. I'm going to be a pain, a bit, until we get our act together. So there are two orders.
Honorable Douglas, Honorable Chule, I think you need to come in the assembly, in the chambers, well dressed.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Of information?
Mr. Speaker, I think this matter was raised in the last session of this assembly, and it was agreed that depending on the weather, members could, stay in the. I'm addressing Mr. Speaker. So I do not know whether the precedent that was set is going to be broken. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. But I would say, honorable members, this house belongs to all of us. If we introduce some of these dressings, will be disadvantaging and changing the culture of these chambers. I think it is good we do respect the house and try as much as possible to dress decently as required by and the culture of our assemblies. Let's observe that. We've been watching over assemblies all over the world, and you will always find members dressed in coats. So, Honorable Francis, you may proceed. Honorable Brian, there is a way that you should do to have your matter addressed, please. Okay, Honorable Brian.
Mr. Speaker, for that ruling. I'm sure that all of us are going to start taking this house seriously. If we don't take this house seriously and allow everybody to come, next time you'll see people walking in with bikinis here. But Mr. Speaker, quorum, this is one of the most important reports of this assembly. And Mr. Speaker, if you look, in fact, I'm a bit worried that you wrote against that the chairman should read the entire report. Because reading the entire report has issues. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Brian, you are now out of order.
And now, Mr. Speaker, I want to draw your attention to the fact that we don't have quorum to discuss such a serious report. I'm not saying any report is not serious, but moving forward, any report which comes here will have to be taken seriously by all members, and attendance and quorum is one of them. Walking in, walking out will not be entertained. If we don't have 20 members, we don't proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ellen, you have something to say?
As much as I want to agree with the ranking member, Brian Kisila, I still feel that we started when there was quorum. We can finish this and...
Honorable Vincent.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The end justifies the beginning. We have quorum during the start, and we have quorum during proceedings. Standing order number 31 is different from standing order number 32. What we are talking about is standing order number 32. And as it is, this sitting does not satisfy the requirements of quorum. Standing order number 31, the beginning of the session. Standing order number 32, during. Honorable Speaker, we are speaking about during. So now, as we are now, we are not correct. It simply means that any resolution we take as an assembly is illegal, null and void. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent. I think we've got 16 members and we're supposed to be 20. So I'll still call upon the Sergeant at Arms to ring the bell for 8 minutes.
This is an important report.
I think when the bell is ringing, Honorable Member, you cannot move out. I think you've just agreed that we follow our standing orders, Honorable Members. Then you'll have to leave your documents if you are for sure going to the washrooms, then come back. And the phone. Members, I think you are not allowed to walk out when the bell is ringing. Honorable Caro, kindly, have your seat. There is something I want to read for you. Just have your seat. Honorable Phoebe Koki, resume your seat. Honorable Chair. You see, honorable members, you cannot have your cake and eat. I'll read what the standing orders say. That is standing order number 32, suborder 3. Whenever the speaker or the chairperson, as the case may be, is engaged in counting the assembly or the committee respectively, the doors of the chamber shall remain unlocked, but no member shall be allowed to leave the chamber. Except a party whip who may be permitted to leave the chamber to seek the members required to raise a quorum. That's standing on number 32, suborder 3.
No, I was just informing you. When I went out for my health break, I had a lot of hallelujahs. So I don't know whether members have gone for the mass or something. It's 4 p.m. and there was supposed to be a mass. So I've had a lot of hallelujahs.
Honorable Paul, this is a house of procedure and we have to follow our laid down procedures. Yeah, I'm informed that it's now 8 minutes. So, okay. So, honorable members, it's evident that we've not attained the required quorum, and so the House adjourns to Wednesday, 13th March, 2024 at 10 a.m.